Przeszkadzasz, Midnight. Midnight, przeszkadzasz. So, today's topic is computers. Here I have selected two great examples of computers from the past and from around current year. So, as you may already notice, computers of the current year are lacking some parts, or at least that's the trend I have observed, that newer computers just don't come with as many parts as actually needed, so you buy the stupid adapters or dongles, which are the name for the adapters. For example, on this older ThinkPad R61i, I have a flap for additional expansion cards if I wanted to. For example, no, I don't know what I would put in there. I have another USB 2, which is slow and old, but at least it has one dedicated microphone and headphone jacks, which are actually useful for recording the radio from an actual radio. A modem and a sort of gigabit Ethernet port. Like the network card claims it's gigabit, but I couldn't get it to download past the speeds of 100 megabit. And it also has a VGA port and an Firewire mini 4-pin nonsense port. And on the newer machine, these are all the ports. These two ports. So you have to use a dongle, for example, like this one. This isn't sponsored, I just happen to have one. To actually plug a USB device like an external disk, like this one. Again, not sponsored, I just happen to have one. And on the back of the machine, or under the machine, there should be a removable battery, but there isn't. You see? It's screwed down. But on the older machine, if I just want to look at the back of this old slow and heavy laptop, here it is, a removable battery. And flip it upside down. Here it is. This battery is basically useless right now, but when it works, it works. The other thing that this old laptop has that the newer one does not have, not the older one, is of course actual ventilation that doesn't keep the processor stuck running at 100 degrees Celsius. And another thing that this laptop has is even more expansion options. due to this connector for a dock. And also the CD-ROM or the disk reader, optical media reader, can be actually replaced. So I'm right now powering this old ThinkPad up to, of course, Vista. This newer laptop to Mac OS Monterey or whatever. So one of the nice things about older software is just the fact that it runs much faster. Like for example, I have in this laptop a SATA 3 SSD, which is bottlenecked to SATA 2 speeds, and right now I will test opening Excel app. 1, 2, 3. Okay, it stopped at 2, but I was convinced that it was free because of the kind of terrible theming support in newer programs. So let me just open up Excel on this laptop. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Of course, this is the next to newest version, I think. While this is Office 2007, but it still shows the point that older software was much lighter, because this laptop has kind of awful CPU and RAM configuration, while this newer laptop has a much better CPU and RAM combination, or at least better than the Pentium Dual Core which the ThinkPad has. Midnight stop. Okay, so another thing is that both of these laptops are technically supported to the same OS on the Windows side, because this laptop can actually run Windows 10. And while it isn't great on this computer, it runs. On this laptop, it cannot run Windows 11 because of the TPM requirement. As you can see, glossy panels are also much harder to record due to the reflections that they have. But what this laptop can't do is use the second monitor without any adapters. For example, if I want to plug a second monitor into this laptop, all I have to do is this, and also just let it actually detect the second display. Yeah. Here it is. Two displays on a computer from 2007. This one is actually running at 1080p. Another thing that this older laptop can do with its older software is actually run older programs. Like for example, Adobe Photoshop CS2 from 2005. And while it is slow, it actually works. And it isn't really that slow. So I can, for example, draw. Good enough. And even older applications work. For example, not for example, but even 32-bit applications work, which in this operating system on this laptop, they don't work for whatever reason. Like I could understand it for like a Gentoo installation, but for a macOS one, especially for just plugging whatever in. For example, this is a USB 3G modem, and this does not work with macOS Monterey because the drivers are 32-bit for whatever reason. The drivers from 2014 are 32-bit, while on this old ThinkPad all I have to do is plug it in and simply install the driver. Of course, the XP partition on this laptop is for running even older software that does not run on 64-bit Vista. Of course, this copy of Vista is with this unofficial extended kernel. While this computer, as I have already said, does not support 32-bit applications, or actually this operating system does not. And to demonstrate that, I will just plug in this stupid dongle that is needed for USB. Here it is. mobilepartner.app. It has to be updated. And the last thing I would like to demonstrate is using this cable. I can connect this laptop to this TV. This amazing thing called composite does not actually show that great of a picture as demonstrated here. Okay, this is about the best that I can actually tune it to. Although I should be able to use .640 by 480, which will be much more usable. Here it is. Windows Vista and the CRT TV. This is, I believe, a 576i TV, currently displaying a signal of 480p 60, and this is a, I believe, 50 Hz TV. So that is basically about it. Bye.